Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. Just found this morning that my fiancé was cheating on me with her boyfriend of 6 years, of which I did not know the existence of. I'll be vague with the dates. I, 25 male, have been with this girl for a couple of years, and we got engaged at the beginning of the year with all her and my extended family. She always told me she had one boyfriend many years ago and was single for a while before meeting me. She also lives 2 hours away from me. I had no reason to doubt her, and at first, she gave me no reason to do so. Then a few months ago, a guy number one, wrote on Instagram to me telling me about her past. And I asked for any proof, and he told me to find them by myself. But after that, he gave me a few names and an Insta ID of guy number 2. I asked guy number 2 if what guy number 1 told me was true. He denied everything, and when I told my ex-fiancée, she also denied it. For the last month I was always skeptical about her. But then I decided to trust her, and maybe that guy number 1 was just trying to mess up my mind. And then this morning guy number 2 contacted me with another ID and asked my number. That's when he told me everything. For how many years, even before knowing me, they were together. How many guys she had, and then he sent me photos, videos, and audios. I asked him for dates to make sure it was after we got engaged. Then he sent me a video and the screenshot of the date and time when he took the video. In the video, she was without any clothes and was using her phone. He also sent photos of her topless with the ring I gave her. I went to check the messages of that date with her, and at the exact time of the video, she was messaging with me while she was with guy number 2 in the hotel. After that, I went out and called my friend and talked with him. He calmed me down and said to verify again that everything guy number 2 sent me was true. So, we double-checked everything. And then I went home and stayed in my car for 3 hours waiting for my dad to come home from work. Meanwhile, she called me and we talked, and then I said, I'm happy today. I feel very lucky. She asked me why, and I told her to wait few hours. Then I saw my dad and told him everything. He seemed calm at first, and we went inside and he told my mom. I didn't tell her anything before because she suffers from depression. And man, I saw my mom and dad crying for the first time. They loved this girl, called her their second child. Every time they meet, they used to give her gift and money. Then my mom called her mom, and everything went down. Calls and messages from her parents. She called me and I sent her every proof this guy number 2 sent me. She denied everything totally, trying to gaslight me. I told her to check the videos and photos, etc. And then her parents asked to talk with me, and I said no. She still said she only loves me, will only marry me or she will never. Then I hung up and my parents took my phone and sent the proofs to her parents, and no more calls. We were supposed to get married in December. I don't know why or for what reason this guy number 2 contacted me now, but I wanted to thank him, but he blocked me, so. Well, now I'm in my bed and waiting for I don't know. Now for the top advice or comments. Congratulations for bullet dodge, bro. Hurts, but you will come out better. You will see. Now make sure you get that ring back. Sell it and take your parent to dinner with the money to celebrate your freedom from that narcissist cheater. Not only that, he sent me screenshots of their video chats where she was braless, and there was my ring too. Thank you, by the way. If the ring is worth anything, tell her to return it. Have your parents pressure her parents if necessary. Mention that you might have to get a lawyer involved. Absolutely. She showed no respect towards you, OP, neither should you towards her. Go scorched earth. No one will blame you. And I recommend to go public with the infos so she can't create a false narrative. We already know she is a psycho. While you may be curious, for your purposes, their motivations don't really matter provided the info is accurate, which it seems to be. When she said she only loves you, either she's lying or this is how she treats the person she loves. Neither is a good quality in a partner. Cancel any wedding plans you've made and don't fall for any fake promises or couples therapy BS. She did this after agreeing to marry you. This is as loyal as she's ever going to be, and she failed miserably. It's time to end it. You may not want to advertise what happened, but I wouldn't lie to anyone who asks. Thank you. Already contacted my uncle in my home country to cancel everything. You got so lucky. Someone up high was looking out for you. It hurts, but at least you didn't get married. That's what my dad told me. Horrible, but you now see the real her. Better to be broken now than broken 10 years from now where she gets the cash and prizes for infidelity. Well, I already took care of that. I'm the only child and my parents are immigrants. We saved money to build a business since I don't want my dad to work heavy jobs. He did already everything he could for me. And early this year, we bought 3 apartments and I paid extra money, put them on my parents' name. So if something happens like a divorce, whoever she is wouldn't get anything. There aren't prenups here. Next story. Wife of 5 years revealed she cheated on me less than 24 hours ago. I'm 30 male, she is 26 female, and she cheated on me less than 24 hours ago. She claims it's the first and only time, but I don't think I can trust her. I'm a shift worker, so I was on my night shift from 6 to 6 when the infidelity took place. Yesterday night she left with our 2 daughters to take them to her parents' house. I left to work my shift around the same time. She was dressed nicely, because after dropping our daughters off, she was supposed to be attending a birthday party at a local restaurant. Around the time they were finishing eating, I called to check in with her to see how she was doing and if they were doing anything afterwards. She told me they planned to go to a bar, then she would be headed back to her parents' house to stay the night there with my daughters. I told her okay, be careful, and I loved her. After this point I had tried texting her a few times, but she never responded. I just chalked it up to that she must be busy with her friends, or that she had already made it back to her parents and went to sleep. Then around 4:30 in the morning, she calls me hysterically crying, saying that I needed to come home because she was spiraling and needed me to help her. She didn't explain why, just that she needs me immediately. So I leave work early and rush out to meet her at our house. I got home before her and started calling her to see where she was at, but the first couple times I called she didn't answer. But then she finally picks up and is still crying, saying things like she wants to end her life and she doesn't want to be on this earth anymore. Because she suffers from anxiety and depression, I immediately thought she is just in a bad place at the moment. I just start reaffirming her that she's loved and that whatever is going on, we can work it out if she will just get to the house so I can comfort her. She almost immediately stops me and says that I needed to stop because when she got there and told me what she needed to tell me, I was going to hate her. Instantly when she said this, I felt sick to my stomach. She eventually pulls up and at first doesn't want to get out of the car. But after me standing at the door to her car for a few moments, she opens it. She then tells me that she had cheated on me with a guy she went home with from the bar. All the air went out of me because I would have never expected this from her. I then asked her what the guy's name was, and she told me his name was Christian. A little backstory. She likes social media, so she is usually always on Snapchat, Facebook, or TikTok. There have been several instances that she has either willingly told me or that she showed me that guys were messaging her. But if they ever became flirty, she always informed them that she was married or she blocked them completely. About 2 weeks ago, she informed me that a guy was messaging her through private messages on Messenger, and that he was being flirtatious, so she blocked him. That same guy found her on Snapchat though, and began messaging her on there. She then told him that she was married and that she was not interested, but to my knowledge, never blocked him in any way. I asked what his name was, and she told me it was Christian. So flashback forward to her telling me she cheated and that his name was Christian. I connected the dots that it must be the same guy. I asked her if it is the same guy, and she said yes it was. She claims he saw her post on Snapchat that she was at that said bar and went to seek her out. When he got there, they proceeded to talk, and she became drunk and said she was feeling vulnerable and decided to go back to his house with him, where they proceed to hook up. She said she immediately regretted it and started crying for him to bring her back to her car so she can go home, which then led her to telling me within a few hours after doing it. After she told me, I asked why she had done it. Says that I had not been showing her enough affection lately, so she was feeling separated and lonely. So, when he showed up telling her that she was beautiful, she could not help herself but feel good about it. I felt heartbroken because I have devoted my entire life to my daughters and my wife. If I'm not at work, I'm with them every moment I can be, even though I do have a hard time showing affection because of the way I was raised. But I've been that way since we first met 6 years ago. She claims it was a giant mistake and that it will never happen again if I just forgive her. But she claims that I should take part of the blame too since I didn't show her enough affection. I just don't know how to feel. Did I really fail her as a husband that led her to do this, or was she already wanting to do this, but now regrets it and wants to try to shift the blame? I still love her, but I don't think I could ever trust her again. I don't think I'll be able to be romantic with her without picturing them together if we do decide to try to work things out. But if we don't, I'm afraid I will not get to see my daughters like I want to, which is what I think I'm most afraid of. I just want someone's advice. I don't want to go public with it yet with our families because I know it's most likely is going to cause irreversible turmoil. Now for the top advice. She is blame shifting. She liked the fact that he was sending her comments, and she probably didn't really block him, etc. He almost certainly didn't track her down to the bar from Instagram posts. She invited him or he invited her. This would have been planned in some way, or at least she knew that meeting a guy in a bar was likely to lead to a hookup. So if all that is true, you need to work out whether or not you will be able to look past that with her in the future, knowing that every time she goes out, there's a chance she is meeting up with a guy who gave her compliments when you didn't. Don't make any quick decisions, but think long and hard about this. I would also add that the birthday at the restaurant was likely to be a date with the guy. Yeah, and she made a whole drama fest so he would buy her victimhood. Even the switch to Snapchat sounds planned, because it is more discreet. Absolutely. This wasn't an accidental drift into something. There were a series of conscious steps that were being taken, moving closer and closer to them sleeping together. You share zero blame in this. The fact she is shifting some blame on you suggests to me that she could do this again. If you choose to stay, get counseling and make that a condition of reconciliation for her as well. She already suggested counseling herself. But the way I feel now, I just don't think I would be able to trust her even if we do. But I'm considering to try it. Please do not trust her. She initially acted like this was something she just fell into, when it was actually premeditated with someone she was already talking to when she knows it was wrong. Threats of self-harm are so common in cheaters. Do not put you and your child through the trauma of staying and dealing with the fallout of repeated behavior. Never let a cheater blame shift. You hold no responsibility for her actions. If the guy tracked her down via Snapchat, her reaction should have been that of horror. She should have treated him like a stalker. But what did she do? She entertained him and most likely gave enough signs for him to recognize that he had a chance of pulling her back to his place. Alcohol is no excuse. She knew his intentions. If she really wants to work it out, she needs to take ownership of her actions and the role she played in destroying your relationship and family. Next is what she's willing to do to rebuild it. It's all on her. Now for the last story. I know I'll eventually leave, I just don't know when I'll have the strength to. Almost a year since D-Day, and it's been objectively great. Wayward wife has done everything I've asked and has been a model spouse. We're communicating well, intimate life is better than ever, and there's nothing indicating she's not 100% committed towards staying loyal. We're both in therapy and have holistically become better people, individually and as partners. All to say that I know in my heart that I can't continue this farce. There has not been a single night where I didn't wake up to at least one bad dream. And there hasn't been a day where I haven't been plagued with intrusive thoughts. I fight through the doubt, the fear, the demons, and the anger every day for myself and my family, but it's endless. My subconscious mind resets itself every day, and I wake up starting the fight anew. Sure, it's getting easier as the dreams aren't as bad, the thoughts don't linger as long, and the tears don't come as easily, but I'm exhausted. The hysterical bonding phase has run its course, and the resentment is seeping in. I'm constantly drifting off into some daydream where I'm single and exploring a new city alone, with exciting new women in my life showering me with affection and attention without having had betrayed me. I long for a relationship built on mutual respect and love, not circumstance and logic. There has to be someone out there that can love me for being me, and who would die rather than betray me. Who can communicate her desires and fight alongside me, not against me because she's insecure or immature. Someone who's intelligent enough to figure out solutions, but brave enough to not need all the answers. A kind soul who wants peace but with a fiery heart who will defend it. I love my wife and I truly enjoy the life we currently have. I wish I could swipe my memory of her affair, and I wish I could spend my life with her, raising our children, growing old in laughter and happiness as we look back to all the beauty we shared in creating over the decades. I wish I could be happy with her without so much pain attached to me. I didn't deserve to be cheated on. I didn't deserve to be betrayed and disrespected as if I meant nothing, as if I wasn't strong enough to help her through her fears, or as if I wasn't man enough for her. I can't though. There is no future where we stay together and I respect myself, where I can hold my head high without doubt or fear sucking me down into despair. I'll never know the totality of her actions. If this truly was the first time, or if the actions she described occurred as told, the triggers will lessen and new memories will overlap the bad ones, but the body will remember. And her actions will corrupt my dreams for as long as she lays next to me. No matter how many nights I fall asleep in her arms, no matter how many kisses, surprise gifts, or words of endearment, there will be rot that festers. I'm not leaving today and I won't leave tomorrow, but that date is coming and I'll eventually be strong enough to start my new life. This is the feeling that sucks the most. I didn't reconcile with my ex, but he wanted to, and I know what we had and how I wish we could just wipe away the infidelity and go back to our happy life. But reality is, I'm up all night every night wishing he would stop trying to fix it and just let me move on. I'm heartbroken but still feel trapped. He destroyed our family and she destroyed yours. There's just no real safety or trust after that, even if you still care for them. It's better to just end it and try to be amicable for the kids. Reconciliation is just more selfishness on the part of the wayward wife, in my opinion. They just don't want to feel bad about themselves at the expense of the betrayed's happiness. I'm honestly not sure what the motivation for reconciliation is for her, but I have a year's worth of effort that tells me she's remorseful and truly wants to fix the broken parts within herself. I cannot deny the improvements she's made, but it's not enough for me. It can't undo what's already happened. Is it selfish for her to attempt reconciliation? I don't think so. I could say it's selfish of me to keep her roped along while I make up my mind, especially now when I'm certain I'll be leaving. Some would say I'm entitled to that and she's at my mercy for what she did, but who's to judge? My goal isn't to make it even or for either one of us to suffer. I just want peace. I'll be tied to her for the rest of my life due to our children, so I want her at her best. For them. Seems like you're beating around the bush here. You're putting off the inevitable. Why waste time prolonging this farce as you called it? This might sound harsh, but I'm gonna be honest. Stop being so weak. This woman crapped all over you. Do what needs to be done. Yeah, it's easy to see me floundering as weakness, but I'm not an impulsive man. I like to take my time to make decisions, especially when I'm not the only one impacted. If time is being spent proactively to better himself and legally defend himself, I accept the beating around the bush emotionally. Only so long as you have the willpower to see it through. I think OP knows it won't get better, so I think it is him working up to ripping the bandage off. This is the mindset I'm in. I'm slowly repairing myself mentally and spiritually, so I'm in the proper mindset to make an important life decision. It's unfortunate that it's taken me this long, but there is still life to contend with. Now, I'm financially independent and emotionally stable. I've been in therapy and I've positioned myself for the next step. Now I wait for window of opportunity to make my exit, to cause as little discomfort to my children and family as possible. She may not deserve that grace, but they do. Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. I want to share my happiness with you. I landed my dream job and apartment, and I can finally leave my cheating husband. Original post. Husband 39 and I, 35, met 10 years ago. He was, up until last year, the love of my life. He was my rock and I his. We shared the same interests, humor and views. We also were child-free. I owned a little sandwich shop that was fairly popular near huge office buildings. I loved my job and I was so content. I made good living. My husband is an engineer. When COVID hit and people started working from home, my business went down pretty quickly, and by the fall of 2020, I had to close for good. I still did some catering gigs, but not near enough to have a decent source of income. My husband said that I shouldn't be worried because he could support both of us. I went back to college for HR management, a 3-year program. Around the same time as all that happened, my husband confessed to me that he might have changed his mind about being child-free, something that I had noticed before he confessed. I loved my husband very much, and I had started noticing him around friends and family members who have small children, and he was so adorable, and to be honest, without my very hectic job, I also started thinking the same. We had our son November last year. The best thing that ever happened to me, but just 3 weeks after I gave birth, my husband came to me and confessed that he cheated on me. It felt like the ground opened from under me. How could that be possible? He was my love and I was his, wasn't I? He apologized and tried to blame it on the pandemic, on being bored at home, on being scared to be a father, on midlife crisis. He loved me and he didn't want to lose me. I felt so trapped with a small baby that needed me. No job and no place to go. Good job, hubby. You sure knew when to deliver this blow. A week later, he asked me what I thought about opening the marriage. Humans aren't meant to stay monogamous, he said. And while he still loved me more than anything in the world, he didn't find me enough. I started crying and begged him not to humiliate me. If he just gave me some time, we could divorce and go our separate ways. He said he wasn't interested in divorce. He didn't want to replace me, just add some new excitement into our relationship. 2 weeks later, he came home with her and told me that she's moving in with us. A 26-year-old that he met at work. He started showing her the apartment and explained how important it was for me to have everything clean and tidy all the time, and that she should abide by that. She was smiling the whole time. He took her to the guest bedroom, and she's been living with us ever since. I moved to my son's room and put locks on, and I've been living with my baby for almost a year now, rarely existing in the common areas beside preparing for my catering gigs. The girlfriend moved eventually into my bedroom with my husband. He warned me that this would happen if I refused to move back. Funny how we can adjust so fast and find small pleasures even in the most difficult times. Having my baby and seeing him grow has been my biggest comfort, him and my studies. After a few months, my husband gave up trying to talk to me outside of matters concerning our son. He finally realized that neither fighting, tantrums, nor love bombing worked on me. And most importantly, he stopped trying to get intimate with me, beside the occasional I love you or I miss you text, sometimes raunchy messages while he's literally on the other side of the wall. His girlfriend kept her distance from me and I was thankful for that. She moved out a few times after they would fight. I don't know the details, but I would guess that she wanted exclusivity. Oh, the irony. She always showed up again after a couple of days, and I acted like I didn't notice any of it. I have 1 year left of my studies, but after my internship, practicing semester at a big firm, my boss offered me a paid internship. It's a full-time job starting in January. It would mean work and study full-time, but I know that I will manage. I'm just so happy. This means that I now have the means to find my own place, and I did. A small studio about 32 square meters, and I'm moving November 1st. I will have to break the news eventually to my husband that I'm moving out and filing for divorce. I don't want to tell him right now, but once I start packing, he will probably understand anyway. I don't know what his reaction would be. Ideally, he would be relieved, but somehow I doubt it. Right now, he thinks I'm bound to him for at least another year because of my studies, and he's still acting like I'm his wife. I have been so lucky this far, and hopefully my moving out and divorce won't be any different. I haven't been this happy in many months, and I wanted to share it somewhere since nobody in my surrounding knows what I have gone through. Now for the top comments before reading the update. I am so proud of you. You have been carrying a heavy load. I can't even imagine what you're having to compartmentalize. You are gonna set the world on fire. Who cares what your sperm donor thinks? He hasn't thought about anyone but himself in a long time. Good riddance. I am sending you all the love, all the strength, and all the abundance that is yours and your son's birthright. Please move yourself out quietly and tell him at the very last moment. He sounds like a narcissist. He will fight back hard and dirty, so give yourself as much of a head start as you can. Good luck. I am rooting for you. Thank you for your kind words. Men like your husband need to be beaten within an inch of their life for doing this to their family. Screw him and screw her. I hope you get a perfect view of his life crumbling to pieces as she leaves his old butt in the future. What a pathetic excuse for a man. Unfortunately, I need him to have a good life and a happy home for the sake of our son. But I get what you mean. It would feel so good. I don't think a man like your husband would be a good influence on your son. You and your baby deserve better. Congratulations. I wish you the best. Have someone with you when you tell him just in case. Maybe I'll have a lawyer contact him. I'm not afraid of him. He's not a violent person. Please do this in as safe a manner as you can manage. I just lost my best friend to a non-violent husband because she dared to leave him. Now for the update. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. Maybe thank you for supporting me on my last post. Beside the few worthless, why don't you just leave comments? I just wanted to vent and share my story, but many of you have requested an update after I have moved. I got the keys to my little apartment 2 weeks ago because the previous tenant moved out earlier. I was grateful because I wanted to paint the room and do some makeover. I talked to the landlady and ended up telling her my whole story law. She promised me the next 2-bedroom that becomes available. When I got the keys, I felt that I could finally breathe. I'm not on good terms with my family, but I ended up telling them what's been going on in my life this past year, and my friends too. I don't know why I kept this a secret for so long. Maybe because I was too ashamed or embarrassed, or maybe because I had a definite plan and I didn't want outside influence or distraction. I didn't want my best friend to feel obligated to host me. I didn't want my sister to ask if I could forgive him, or my in-laws to try and change his mind. So, the best thing I knew was to keep quiet and act like everything was normal. I moved last Friday. I had packed all my kitchen gear, and my sons and my clothes, toys, etc. while my husband was at work. My best friend and her husband helped me. I didn't take any of the furniture because I thought it could wait until we divorced, and I requested division of property. I have no room for anything in my little apartment anyway. When my husband came home, I told him that I was leaving. He was confused at first, but I told him about my new apartment, so he asked me how I was going to afford it. His facial expression changed and he looked scared. He started telling me how he has been regretting all of what he did. He loved and missed me. He knew that he messed up and has been thinking that this wasn't what he wanted. He wanted his family back, our son and me. He asked me if I wanted my baby not to have his parents together. Then he said that he was leaving his girlfriend and she would be moving out, and it could be the two of us again. His girlfriend started fighting with him and I just left. He has now been calling me asking to see us. I still want a decent co-parenting relationship with him, so he took our son on Sunday to his parents to spend time with him. This is the first time I'm without my son a whole day. I cried the entire time. I need to get used to this. My in-laws apologized for what my husband did. I think they think this is going to pass and we will be back together. I think everybody think that, besides my best friend. I won't try to convince them. Let time tell them instead. My feelings are letting me down now. After all he did, I still love him with all my heart and I miss him. His kisses, his eyes, the way he looks at and touches me. How weird is that? I don't know if this is good or bad. I don't know if these feelings will disappear and what they will be replaced with. Hate. Is harboring hate for a man I'm bound to for at least 17 more years something good? Maybe I should use my love for him to create a better co-parenting relationship. Maybe I should not stop loving him, just find a new meaning for this love. Our son is so much like him, especially his smile. It makes it even harder not to think about or miss him. This past year I have not had time to reflect over my feelings. I've done a great job being matter-of-factly and suppress my feelings, but now I'm on my own in my own apartment. I can finally cry and mourn the love that we lost. And the weirdest thing is that I really believe that he still loves me too. In his own weird way. I don't think he ever stopped loving me. I have watched him with his girlfriend for a year now. It's never like how he was with me when we were happy. The only times I could see his old loving self was when he looked at our son or at me when he thought I couldn't see him. When I think of this, I cry even more because what a waste of a beautiful relationship. And for what? My son's birthday is in a few days. I feel so guilty, but I will not be celebrating it with my husband. My son is still too young to remember, so I won't be hurting him. Hopefully when he is older, my husband and I are on better terms so we can celebrate him together. But for now, I'm doing a party with my family and friends, and my husband can do a party for him if he wanted. I just wanted to say something before I leave. Last time many accused me of being too dependent, letting my husband taking care of me and our son. I thought this is how life/love/partnership was supposed to be. I had a very respectable business and I loved my job. I was happy and content. I had a loving and supportive husband. We bought our beautiful place and renovated it from scratch with both our hard-earned money. I never foresaw the pandemic and how my business would suffer, how my life would be turned upside down. And when it did, I thought I could rely on my husband because that's what people supposed to do. If the roles were reversed, I would gladly have supported him until he got on his feet again. Because in the long run, the whole family would reap the benefits. So no, I wasn't dependent. I just thought I had a good safety net. If you still don't understand that people, no matter where they are in life, could fall and need to start over, expecting their loved ones to support them, or at least not take advantage of them. If you still don't understand that this doesn't mean that they're weak, then there's nothing more I could say to explain myself. So I'll leave it at that. Congratulations on your new place. I know it feels strange right now. That will pass. You and your son will find a new normal soon. Thank you very much. I'm sure we will, and I can't wait. First thing, congrats on moving out. That is going to do wonders for your mental and emotional health. About the part you said that you think he still loves you in a weird way, I think you might be right. But you deserve so much more than that. You deserve to be loved and cherished in the right way. One that is sincere and honest and puts you first above passing flings. This guy put his own selfish wants above the love and respect he had for you and your relationship. Remember, it's okay to let yourself grieve what you had, but don't let it hold you back from maybe finding love again someday in your own time. Remember always that you and your baby boy deserve all the happiness in the world, and never settle for less. So apparently, humans can stay monogamous after all. You did well. I find it fortuitous that he discarded her as easily as he did you. She was foolish not to expect any other result. Get settled and start making headway into your new life. I know you have to co-parent, but I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to use that or financial assistance to remain tethered to your life. Don't let him do that. OP needs to only talk to him through a parenting app that keeps records, and she needs to document everything. And if he gets real manipulative, OP don't hesitate to go for full custody. Document. Especially the year you already spent with him, how he moved a stranger into your house, which put your child at risk as you didn't know her and what she was gonna do. How you had to lock yourself in your kid's room because he refused to make her leave or break up with her. I doubt the court will like that he made these unilateral decisions that were obviously not good for either you or your kid. What a ride. I wish you all the best. I too still love my cheating husband. It is probably normal, albeit weird. Take your time to mourn what you had. Much love to you. I'm so sorry. Are you staying with him? Not sure yet, it's all so new. I will never trust him again for sure. I thought my douche was horrid until I read about your douche. I'm really sorry you had to endure all this for a year. My douche at least did it behind my back. Now for the last story. Husband cheated at a bachelor party. Need support. In a cliché move, my husband cheated on me at bachelor party this weekend. I can't believe his story obviously, but the story is that he got a lap dance from a stripper. He tried to hook up with her but he couldn't get it up as he had been drinking all day. He did tell me that he would 100% have slept with her if he could. I can't trust him because 1. Obviously he cheated on me. 2. He originally told me she had rubbed on him and he ended the lap dance then. 3. It took him 4 days to come clean with this second story, and only when he left for another bachelor party this weekend did he call to tell me the truth. I feel like my life is ending. I guess it is in some regards. I currently don't even have a job. No kids, thank God. But my husband is the breadwinner in my marriage, and I moved around multiple times to further his career, at probably the expense of one for me. I feel like that line from Pride and Prejudice where Charlotte is saying she's got no prospects, no money, and she's a burden to her parents and frightened. Only I'm 32, and she was at least only 27. I guess I just need someone to talk me down and help me with next steps. I'm actually at a bachelorette party for my future sister-in-law who is marrying his brother, so I have to keep it together until Sunday. Somehow, or at least in public anyway. I can't get a divorce until I at least get a job. That much is certain for me. I need some stability. I don't have the best parents, so going home to them wouldn't be a great option for me. Someone just talk to me. I'm devastated. Now for the advice. You need to immediately consult a divorce attorney. You shouldn't assume how a divorce will work in your circumstances. You may be able to get temporary support order. How do you even find a divorce lawyer law? Like obviously I'm Googling, but a good one. If you are in an at-fault state, you want to get proof of his cheating, so the next time he confesses get it recorded. You have to check to make sure you live in a one-party consent state for recording someone, but if you live in an at-fault state, you will want to get on that. Yeah, I told him he had to email me his story of what happened if he wanted any option to reconcile. 32 female here also got cheated on during engagement. Still angry 3 months after D-Day. Don't have many words to comfort you, but just know you're not alone. Feel free to DM if you want to discuss further. If it helps, I'm 32 and husband cheated the same year we got married. I switched careers to move to a state I hate so he could better his career. Just know, you're both not alone. But no choice has to be made immediately unless there is mistreatment. It's been almost a year since my D-Day and we separated but are dating. The time has helped me feel like I have control of next steps.